Craig, could you have had a more perfect start to your return here to Adelaide?
Yeah, obviously really happy with how things have gone for the first two games, scoring 2 goals. Obviously very happy, and especially in front of the friends and family. But yeah, I guess now the attention is to the Melbourne Victory game. It's the biggest game for us in the calendar, I think, each year. So yeah, I definitely want to make it 4 from 4 in that one.
You mentioned the biggest game on the calendar. Is it a strange feeling, the fact that they're so bad at the moment?
Yeah, look, I think the fact that they're playing bad or haven't been as good as what they usually are, we can't take that into consideration. You know that when you come off of a 6-0 loss, you're wanting a reaction. You take it kind of personally if you've had a result like that. So you want to, put yourself about, and that's what they'll be trying to do. And for us, it's about continuing what we've done in the first few games that I've been here, and I guess the 3 wins in a row, and keeping that structure and the organisation that we've had, and then attacking wise, expressing ourselves.
Are you surprised just how well you've slotted back in, even after having to do the 2-week quarantine?
Yeah, not really, because I've been playing, when I was in Saudi, I was playing all the time. So I guess I had the treadmill for the 2 weeks whilst I was in quarantine, so I was wearing that out as much as I could. Yeah, obviously it's nice to be slotted in and feel comfortable straight away. We've got a great group of boys and a good coaching staff, so they've made it very easy for me. But yeah, now obviously the attention is always looking forward. I think that's the best way to try and keep the form for myself going and for the team.
And the style and the structure of the car was pretty familiar?
Yeah, I think it's quite similar to things I've done with other coaches. Obviously he's got his own tweaks to it as well. But yeah, for the most part, it's similar to things that I know.
What about coming back on the whole for a second stint, differences, whether it be around the club, A-League, anything that sort of sticks out to you this time around?
I would say across the whole league, probably there's a lot more youngsters coming through this time, and a lot more youngsters getting chances. Especially with us, we have, I've said it before, I think probably some of the best youngsters we've had coming through in quite a while. So there's a good 5, 6, 7 of them.
Who do you like? You're allowed to pump up your own teammates?
Yeah, I don't want to pump anyone up too much, but I think you all know the names as such of the players coming through, players playing.
One of them perhaps might not be playing this week. What do you know about Mo?
So he's getting a scan today. That's as far as I know. I think the physio said that they're hoping it's not as bad as what they first thought. That's their first thought on it. So we'll see what the results say.
While we're on injuries, do you know much about Tommy Urich? Is there a chance this week?
Yeah, so he's at training today. Obviously he's just missed out the last 2 weeks. So we're hoping that he'll be in for this week. Obviously it brings a lot of experience to the team, and hopefully goals as well.
Craig, just on loan, he had a pretty big impact coming in for a young player. How shattered are you and the team for him that he's been hit by this injury at a pretty crucial time? Yeah,
I think as a group, when any of the players get injured, everyone's there to support them. As for Mo, it's been no different, and we hope that, like I said, it's not as bad as what is first thought, because he is a real impact player for us. He's obviously scored 3 goals this year and pitched in with assists as well. So, he's got that X factor, and hopefully he'll be back on the pitch as soon as possible.
You spent pretty much the first hour of the game out on that right-hand side, and although you got a lot of the ball, you probably agree you didn't have that much of an impact on the game. You went back out to the left, you scored your goal. Where do you want to play?
For me, I like either side. There's different things depending on the formation the other team plays and the different style. I do like when I can change. In Saudi, the second season, I was playing right wing for the majority, and the first season, half on the right wing. It depends, again, on the style of the team and what players we have. We have fullbacks that like to attack and get involved. For me, probably a lot of my best footballs come on the left. I can always deliver the ball for my teammates. I agree with you, absolutely. My delivery wasn't as good as what it should be from the right-hand side in some situations. But that's, again, learning the teammates and learning the particular runs that we make and the style. It's only 2 games in for me. And yeah, obviously, wherever or which position I play, as much as I can help the team and provide as many chances to score as possible.
Just back on Melbourne, why do you think Victory are struggling so much this season?
Yeah, look, it's a tough one. I've seen a few of their games, but I can't really put a finger on it as to why they're in the situation they're in. Perhaps they've had a few injuries which they've been unlucky with. Obviously, I think Rojas got 2 injuries inside the first 20 minutes in 2 separate games. So, they are missing some players. But I think it's a chance for us to extend our run. It's a chance for us to beat Victory on obviously their home turf. And like I said, it's the biggest game in the calendar for us. And it's the one that we want to win. It's the one the Adelaide fans want to win. And we have to be ready to give 110% to get us over the line.
Can you compare the 2 leagues that you play, the Saudi League and the A-League, just for those that haven't maybe seen a lot of the Saudi League, standard-wise, the way it's played, what sort of differences are there?
So to be honest, personally, as a whole, I would say that the Saudi League and the Australian League, they're quite similar in terms of standard. I would say the fact that you're allowed 7 foreigners in your team in Saudi, I would say that lifts the quality quite high. And because there's more money there, the best Saudis, they stay in Saudi, and that would be a big difference, I think. But for sure, I think the Australian League is much more structured, much better organisation in terms of the teams, and it's a little bit more off the cuff in Saudi. It's quite end to end. The heat playing in 35-degree weather most of the season makes a difference. Overall, I think there's definitely things that here in Australia are much better than there. And I think there's things in Saudi that are better than here too.
One of the positives for an A-League, do you feel like you get more of a look from the national team coaches here in Australia, or is that not a fair statement?
No, I don't think so. Because, for the period I was in Saudi, I was in all of the camps that were available for the national team. So, it's a strong league. It's possibly, with teams like Hilal, Nassr, Ittihad, Al Ali, it's possibly one of the strongest in Asia besides Japan. The UAE League, they have a couple of teams, but across the whole thing, the Saudi competition is pretty strong with that foreigner rule that they have. They bring in high quality players. So, yeah, it's definitely, I think in terms of national team, it shouldn't necessarily depend on which league you're playing in, but to the standard that the individual is playing.
On the national team, do you feel like you've sort of been robbed a little bit personally in COVID times of all these chances that you might have had to play some national football when you're probably in your prime? It's a selfish question.
Yeah, maybe. I think maybe a little bit, but it's everyone's in the same boat. Obviously you want to be involved with the national team. Everyone's missing out on the games. There was the Copa America that's been cancelled. That would have been great for the country to be involved in that and to play against some big players. But yeah, obviously it's been a strange year with COVID. But yeah, for me, I've always said that focusing on club level is the way to get into the national team.